we've got the great Bob Kravitz from The Athletic to join us now. Bob, I know that last night the draft lottery picks were announced in Indiana at a 10% chance of getting number one, and they got number 6.
Yes, this is so typical of the history of the Indiana Pacers. They did move up. I think it was 88. They moved up from 7th to 2nd to get Rick Smits. I think it was 88. I forget what the year was. But generally speaking, nothing magical happens during the lottery for the Pacers. And even when they pick high, they pick people like George McLeod and Rick Roby and Steve Stepanovich. So no surprises there. I fully expect them to have a choice between Shaedon Sharpe, who we have not seen. He enrolled at Kentucky, and we never saw him play. I think Keegan Murray might be a possibility. Adrian Griffin. So there'll be a lot of guys out there. Kevin Pritchard made it very clear last night. He's going to try and package his pick, the 31st pick, which they got from Houston, and possibly a player to move up into that top 4, because there seems to be a line of demarcation between the top 4 and everybody else. So I think they're going to try and be aggressive. Whether they're going to have any success is another story.
I was thinking it was actually, for me, it's the top 3 is the line of demarcation. Those top 3 guys, whether it's Banchero, Chet Holmgren, or Jabari Parker, Jabari Smith, rather. Those 3 guys, for me, just stand out. And then because Jaden Ivey, while a very, very good player, to me is not a program changer from his position.
I disagree with you, Jim. I think he's got the potential.
I mean, to be like another Ja Morant.
Yeah, I really do. I think he's got the physical ability to do some pretty special things. Now, I did see one mock draft. Jonathan Gavoni of ESPN did have Ivy going 6th. So, it's a possibility. This Shaedon Sharpe is really going to be kind of the inflection point in the draft, because nobody has seen this guy play since high school. He went to Kentucky, he didn't play. And, you don't know what you're going to be getting. But he is 6'6". He's got a 7-foot wingspan. He can finish the basket based on the people that I've spoken to about him. So, there's a lot. They'll have options. Can they move up? It's possible. I mean, it's there's a lot of. I don't know if the teams in front of them are willing to make a move, though. That's you got to find a trade partner. You got to find somebody to dance with.
Something else that I was just talking about that I noticed as I was looking down, and I think this was Sam Vecini's draft list from The Athletic. I went 9 deep, and other than Jaden Ivey, everybody in that 9 was what I consider a forward wing. And that's where basketball is going. Those guys are becoming the centerpieces. Even Chet Holmgren, who they have listed as a center, I don't consider a center.
No.
This dude runs the floor and he plays out on the wing. He shoots the threes. He's not a center. So that's where basketball is going. That's where Mike Woodson's trying to take Indiana, I've noticed as well. But basketball is really kind of shifting to that. I don't want to use the word positionless basketball.
Well, it is positionless basketball. I'll tell you, the first person who ever mentioned that to me was Isaiah Thomas when he was the coach of the Indiana Pacers many, many years ago. We were talking one day, and I was saying, well, you need a point guard, you need this, you need that. He said, the way this game is going, he said, in a couple of years, you're going to have lineups where there's nobody taller than 6'6", 6'7". It's gotten completely away from size. Although, you look at Jokic and Embiid were 1-2 in MVP. But you look at the teams that are doing well, and they are positionless teams. They got guys like Adebayo who can cover 1 through 5. Because everything is about switching on defense now.
Absolutely. And there will be the outliers like a Chet Holmgren, who, while is taller than that, but plays in that realm, which he's kind of a freak. I mean, when I saw him,
he's a unicorn.
When I was out in Portland and actually saw that with my own eyes, I was like, you got to be kidding me, because TV does not do it justice. You need to see a 7-foot guy bringing the ball up the floor and handling it and doing all that stuff. And but let's see, I just saw someone mention that our own Jim Reamer said kind of what you just said as well about moving up, but it was specifically to get Keegan Murray. I lost that comment wherever it went to, but
Keegan
there
Murray
we go.
is somebody who interests the Pacers quite a bit.
He interests me. I think he's a hell of a player.
I think he is too. He averages 21, 22 points a game, couple of rebounds. He can be a 3-and-D guy. I think Keegan Murray, and again, we have to be careful. We're in Big Ten country. We see Keegan Murray, we see Johnny Davis, we see Jaden Ivey. So I think there's sort of that bias towards the guys that we actually see. Now, Shaedon Sharpe, nobody's seen this guy. So that's going to be a tough pick. But look, Keegan Murray to me is terrific. I think Johnny Davis from Wisconsin can be a really fine player, not necessarily a position of great need for the Pacers. But at this point, when you're 25 and 57, if you got two guards, that's life. You look back at the Colts, they had Marlon Mack coming back from 1,000-yard rushing season. So they go out and they draft Jonathan Taylor. It made no sense at the time. How Jonathan Taylor work out? Where's Marlon Mack now? So I don't think you can be position oriented. I think you just go for the best guy, the best basketball player, and you figure out how to use him. And I think Rick Carlisle will.
Absolutely. And then more now, Trace Jackson Davis. This does not have a bearing on him, of course, none of these picks, but his decision day is drawing nearer and nearer. And I still maintain I have not changed my opinion that I fully think that he is coming back. He can't, I think he'll make 3 times the money that he could possibly make on going the other direction.
Yeah, it depends on what you know more about the cash situation than I do, but look, I looked at Sam's mock draft last night late, and there was no mention of Trace Jackson Davis. And I've seen Trace anywhere from late in the second round to not being drafted at all, which is a little amazing. But look, he doesn't shoot from the outside in today's NBA. If you can't shoot from the perimeter as a big man, as a non-dominant big man, you've got issues.
Well, everybody we just talked about, not a single one of those guys was a dominant big man, and that includes Chet Holmgren.
Right.
He did not. That's not what he does. Every one of those guys have the ability to shoot the ball, though, and that's the difference maker, and that's why they are where they are. And I don't know that there's going to be a position for a guy who can't shoot the ball.
Right. In Europe, there's a position for a guy like that, but
for now,
look, I would love for the guy to come back and establish, an incredible IU legacy. But, I think this week will tell him a lot. He's at the NBA Combine up in Chicago. I think it's from the 10th through the 16th. And he will get lots of feedback. And I fully expect that they will be in his ear, tell him what he needs to hear, what he may not want to hear, and then he'll make a smart decision. And as I've said before, he's not from a family of need, so he doesn't have to make a decision based necessarily on finances. So he can do what feels right to him. And I honestly believe this. There's no bad decision for him at this point.